We're at a cemetery today, and this is a pretty interesting cemetery, and it's also kind of sad as well. This is the oldest cemetery in Central Florida. Now on Google it shows the oldest cemetery in Orlando at 1881, but this place was founded in 1851, and it was when a stagecoach driver died. He was riding his horse, horse got away, and he ran into a tree and died, so they buried him out here, and that's where this cemetery came from. So we're gonna walk around and check it out. Now, this was the oldest town in this area. Like 1847, I believe it was founded, and it is completely destroyed now with modern homes. And the other side of the street, just the same. They're about to build up. There's trucks everywhere. So, history definitely destroyed by modernism, but that's okay. The cemetery's still here, and it will still be here. But we'll go and check out the graveyard. We're getting to the older section here. This one was 1884. I believe this was a husband and wife. V. Ruth, John Edwin, son of J.P.V.B. Unser, born 1883, died 1884. Wow. 1883, died 1884. Wasn't even 1 year old. September 27th, February 18th. That's sad. Got 1925 here. A lot of these are in really rough shape. It's such a shame that there's all this construction going around here. I mean, this was a thriving community and all this was not here a couple months ago. They just threw this up. This is a retirement community in the area that has like 30 miles of houses. And it is quite sad that they just destroyed all this area. This is all farmlands, like not even a year ago. All pasture. It's been inhabited since 10,000 years ago. This is like the most highly mineralized ground in this area. And that's why they chose it. And the stagecoach ran from Ocala, Florida, which was Fort King, all the way down to Tampa. And this was a little stop on the stagecoach. These are sad as well. Unknown individuals, it just says at rest because they don't know the name. There's apparently some old, very, very old, original wood crosses out here. We'll try to find some of those. But unknown individual at rest. Here's one for some twins. It says Elmer at the top. W.B. and Ella. Switch cord, born February 12th, 1885, died September 24th, 1887. So they were twins, 2 years, 7 months, and 12 days. (1893).
See, that one's 1883 to 1886.
Yeah, these are very, very young. It's another Ella switch cord, 1883 to 1886. These are very beautiful headstones. 1892. I'll try to find some of the older ones. Oh, a lot of these are in really rough shape, by the way. That one completely fell off the top and it's just resting there. I don't want to pick it up and put it back there, but died in Gainesville, Florida, and they were buried here in 1908. There's a whole string of just at rests. These are all unknown people that died right in a row here. Just says at rest on it. A whole bunch of them. This one's got a broken top to it, but can't even read it. 1887, 1882, or 1888 to 1880. No, that doesn't make sense. 1887. Can barely read it. So a lot of it seems to have no rhyme or reason. It's just all spread out, like 60, 60, 68, 1912, and they're all right next to each other. My brother, J.C. Porter, 1846 to 1889. They had some very, very pretty headstones back in the day. Can't even read this one. 1905, that's one that's not even as old as some of the other ones, but see it. 1952. And majority of these people came from like Georgia, was the majority of these areas, and they all came down here for the Armed Occupation Act, to try to control the Native Americans down here, the Seminoles. And basically the government gave you land and you just had to occupy it, and basically exactly how it says, armed occupation. You occupy the land with a weapon, and after a certain amount of years they gave it to you. And a lot of those people came down from like Georgia and the Carolinas down here, and that's where they settled. There's very, very few houses left around here from that era, the 1840s and 50s. There's like none in this area at all. Well, we'll try to find the older stuff for some of those old crosses. Here's another string of at rest. Oh, wow. Jacob Goodwin, Florida Corporal Kendricks Independent Company, Florida Mounted Volunteers in the Seminole Wars. So here's someone that died during the Seminole Wars, which is the 1830s to 1850s is how long, well actually earlier than that, 17 to the late 1850s is when the third Seminole War ended, but that is a Seminole War veteran that died. This truck noise is just, supposed to be a place of peace and rest. We have a Confederate soldier here, Charles Pearson from Georgia. Like I said, Georgia, a lot of people came from Georgia. Sergeant, Co. B. 61 Regiment, Georgia Infantry, Confederate States, 1834. He died in 1906. Confederate. There's even some from 2000 in here, just like right next to each other. Old water pump. That must have been out here back in the day. They got a modern spigot now. Bench is falling apart. This place is really falling apart. 1887. It is really beautiful in here, but they got golf carts and stuff riding around over there. And dump trucks everywhere. Wow. Born December 15th, 1888, and it doesn't have a death. So, she died the same day she was born, Cassidy. That happened a lot back in the day. A lot of high infant mortality rate. A son, another infant that died the same day he was born, 1907. Here's an older one. Son of David C. and M.R. Lee, born June 13th, 1862, died July 15th, 1868. It's a very old one. And here's David Lee. That's the father. Born January 23rd, 1830. Died July 3rd, 1868. Gone but not forgotten. And it is broken. That is such a shame. He was a Freemason. PA. A lot of these don't have anything on them. Archer. These are very, very beautiful headstones. 1886, 29 years old. Here's some of the old wood crosses that are gone. I mean, that one, it's missing the cross part, but 1892. Confederate States again. Sergeant Chard Wathpro, Denard's Company, Light Artillery, Confederate States. Man, this traffic from the destruction is terrible. Just terrible. This was the oldest community in this area. So babies, January 31st, 1896. November 25th, 1896. Such sad, seeing how small that is compared to how large this one is, the casket size. That's the father, Frankie, died 1917. It's a very old one, but I believe that says 1859 is when they died. Looks like they painted it to try to get it so you could read it. There's another baby section. Let me go around here. Johnny Brown, 1904, 1903 to 1904. Got the end stones here. 1901 to 1904, our baby. And there's some that are just missing and more unknowns at rest. At rest. I believe these are where the... Oh, wow. These are where the old crosses were, but I think they got rid of them, except for a few. This whole area is empty here. This looks like a pretty old one over here. No, not really. 1937. I believe this one was a Navy man. Maybe he died in the Civil War. G.M. Condrey. Born October 28th, 1814. Died February 14th, 1861. 46 years, 3 months, and 16 days. It's got the anchor up top, so most likely a Navy man. Next is some unknowns. Can't believe how spread out they are. This one's completely down as well. G.M. Condrey, born July 24th, 1811, died September 10th, 1889. 78, wow. Lived a long life. These are the Condreys. 1922. Can't quite read that one, but families here. Yeah, these are all the families, even up into 1989. Man, some of them are just very bad off. Going up the middle here, 1920, 1847. Here's some more babies. You can tell how small they are. 1902, 1904. Unnamed infant. So they didn't even have a name for. December 24th, the day before Christmas, 1906, died February 1st, 1907. Wow. Unnamed infant. Here a family made this headstone. They died in 1869. They got marbles in it. You can't even read it, but I can read the date. 1869. Here's one of the graves with the old crosses that it's rotted away. More of it here, down under the ground. I'm not sure if that was one of the original old ones or not. It's getting very overgrown. Here's all handmade. They did the S's backwards. 1880, 1944. And husband, the S's are backwards again. An infant. Skipper daughter. H.T. hereof. Wow, 1941. Here's another unmarked one. Looks like a child. Wow. Baby Beard. Born and died December 7th, 1928. And George Beard. Private Bakers and Cooks. QMC. 1930. This one's knocked right off of it. Again, Fletcher. 1869 to 1891. These are buried in the ground. It's hard to know how old they were, but 1912 and 1916. It's another one that is buried. A lot have footstones, but a lot don't. (1888) or 1883.
Gotta be very old.
Here's one that's fenced in. I don't see a whole heck of a lot on this side. It could be on the other side, I guess. Yes, it is. Let me get the camera in there. 1871, I see. 1848 to 1871. Here's one here. I believe that says 1877 or 1873. Died. Wow, a lot of these are so hard to read. Another Confederate States of America. Absalom Albany. Co-A 19th Regiment. South Carolina Infantry, maybe? 1840 to 1879. So he was a veteran. He did not die in the war. These are all broken and fallen over on the opposite side, so cannot quite read them. And they're all facing every which way. 1867, I believe, is when they died. Huh. They're facing every which way. That's 1906. This place is very beautiful, but very sad with all the construction around. 1889, 1901, 1926, 1905. Here is a handmade one. You can barely see anything, but I believe I see 1858 on there. 1858 right here. And there's a R something. Very hard to read, but I believe that is 1858. It's really a shame how many broken these are. 1889, you can barely read a lot of them, but they are a lot of broken ones. Here is another soldier. His surviving comrades to the memory of Private John F. Stone, Company B, 1st Florida Volunteer Infantry, born November 25th, 1859, died August 28th, 1898, at Ferdinandia, Florida. Died for his country. So he died in 1898 in Florida. That had to have been Indian Wars or the Spanish-American War, I would think. Florida Infantry in 1898, Ferdinandia, Florida. This one is very different. Mother. They had a lot of money back in 1906 to get this kind of headstone. 1821 to 1906. It's another Civil War soldier, S.D. Robinson, Co. 1, Infantry, Florida, Rest, Inf. Confederate States of America. And that's all it says, so maybe he died in the war and was buried here. For the Confederates, the government did not pay to have any of the soldiers exhumed and brought back home. They did it for the Yankees, but they did not do it for the Confederates. So family members had to do it, inter their relatives from the battlefields and all, and bring them back home and pay for everything. A couple organizations actually did go out and bring back soldiers, but it was up to the families, and a lot of Southern families could not afford it after the war. They were pretty devastated. It's good seeing some soldiers that made it back. Okay, so that's going to be it for the cemetery today. I'm really sorry about those trucks, but there is nothing I can do about that. This was once Adamsville, the oldest town in this area for maybe 50 miles or so, and completely devastated by construction, big time. There is a monument up here that I want to show you. I do not know how old it is, but they separate the new cemetery from the old cemetery. There are people that die now that are over there, but it's because their family members are over there. But the modern cemetery is over here. But let me show you, there's a mausoleum right there as well. I'll show you this historical marker. Historical monument. Adamsville Historical Marker. Sumter County was created by the Act of Florida Legislative on January 8, 1853. The new county was created from the southern part of Marion County and contained a large segment of what is now Lake County. The community of Adamsville was selected as the first county seat. Near this site was erected a log building to serve as the courthouse until the county seat was moved to Sumterville in 1858. The officers appointed by Governor Madison B. Perry included, well, that's just a list of names of people. Basically saying that the town basically died in 1858. Besides a few people that hung around, but it was a thriving community until 1858. And this area was basically, I am terribly sorry about all these trucks, but it is a very old historic area, and I figured we'd get out here and check it out today. It's very beautiful seeing all those old gravestones, seeing the old Confederate soldiers. Very beautiful. I hope you like this video. Something a little bit different, but get out here and check out the history. I'm sure they won't get rid of this place, but everything else around it is gone. And they're building everything all over there. This was the town, and everything was knocked down and is no more. Construction everywhere. It's quite sad. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you on the next.